So you may find this interesting. Pimping is legal in the United States. Pimping is illegal in Canada. Pimping is legal in pretty much every country. You know, back in the real old days when I was in my 20s, we're talking 30, 40 years ago, you know, you would see them introduce pimps in TV and you'd stereotype the African American as being the pimp and being in control of these prostitutes. And it's done to this day, where a pimp actually somehow makes that woman fall in love with him. And she will do anything for him. And it doesn't matter, even when they try to pull her out of that line of work, she just goes right back into it because she believes she has to support that pimp. The psychology of it is pretty interesting. But now we have what's referred to as OnlyFans.com. So let's kind of think about OnlyFans.com. I did some lookup on it, and they have 85 million registered users as of January 1st, 2021. So they've got a lot more now. How many creators does OnlyFans have? They had more than 1 million creators worldwide on January 1st, 2021. 1 million. And they got a lot more now. Now, OnlyFans basically is known as being porno. I mean, if you think about it. How does OnlyFans make money? They take a percentage from the creators. Well, the pimps used to take a percentage from the prostitutes, right? The creators receive 80% of all revenue, subscription, paid messages, tips, while OnlyFans takes the remaining 20%. So obviously, people are paying more on OnlyFans than just a subscription of whatever, 10, 20 bucks a month. They're also paying to send messages. They're paying to be in contact with the creator, I imagine, and many other things. There was a particular woman called Belle Delphine, and she was actually selling bath water and people paid for it. But OnlyFans.com is the same as being a pimp. And yet, that is legal in the USA. And yet, if a man's a pimp and controlling 5 or 6 women on the street, that's not illegal. I personally don't see the difference. But for some reason, OnlyFans.com is legal. You know, it's funny as life goes on from when I was younger to when I get older, how they just find ways to manipulate things. They just twist it around. And it's sad. But there's other things to also consider here. If there is over 1 million creators worldwide peddling themselves like this, obviously they're not good people to marry. They're not good people to be with. I mean, they sell their bodies. They sell it for money. I mean, what kind of person does that make them? It doesn't make them a loyal person. It doesn't make them a good person to be with. And well over 1 million of those people out there. And then at the same time, you got to think about the other side of the coin. We've got 85 million, now it's a lot more, that are paying these people, that are supporting this ridiculous sexual escapade, I guess you could call it. I don't know, but that's a lot of people. And it makes no sense. They've always said, even all my years in building websites, they've always said that sex sells. And I guess this is true, even in this case. Well, when you got 85 million plus people paying other people to do lewd acts, I mean, that's a lot of dysfunctional human beings. It really is. You know, And it says a lot on which direction the world is going. And it's not good. We want to believe that most people are good in general. But when you actually start looking at the numbers and you start comparing things, it's almost like we're on a teeter-totter. It's almost like we have a very high population of people that are not so good and a very low population of good people. And that's the sad part. Now, there's a girl named Bella Thorn. She actually made $1 million with some type of introduction she had done. So they had to introduce payment limitations after her, is what they had to do. And Belle Delphine, she makes well over $1 million a month from her platform. $1 million a month. That puts people on a whole new level. The amount of people that OnlyFans is employing is unbelievable. If that website was to go down, we would have well over 1 million people out of work in one day, is what would happen. So is it possible that something can get so big, even if it's wrong, to never close because of the amount of finances it's pulling in? Why any subscriber would pay OnlyFans.com to check out a woman, I'll never understand. That's obviously not a good woman. She's obviously not going to want to meet you. She's obviously not... We're talking about a lot of disrespectful people, just in general. In my day, when we were growing up, we were very particular on the type of woman we would meet. You know, if she was a woman that had many boyfriends, I mean, she was frowned upon. We looked the other way. Now, maybe that's our old-fashioned way. But we did not want a woman that had many men. That was just the way it was. You know, and you figure back in my day, what was the most popular thing back then was probably Playboy. But since the internet, things are changing. I think OnlyFans is basically a pimp. And obviously the women that are doing it are attracted to because of the money. A lot of these women are buying Lamborghinis, Porsches, I mean, and a lot of people would scratch their head and say, well, how can you put that down? There's still a thing called respect, couth, and many other words that go along with that. But any woman that's on OnlyFans.com, or a man for that reason, you know, some of them may make a lot of money, but they definitely don't have any respect for themselves or respect for other people. You may drive a Lamborghini, but it doesn't make you a very respectful person to where me and myself, anyways, I wouldn't want to be friends with a person like that. So if the government makes a lot of money through taxes, if many people are being paid, then being a pimp, like OnlyFans is, can now be legal. If you're a pimp on the street, well, the government's not getting their taxes, and they want to close them up and put them in jail. To me, they're the same thing. They're the identical same thing. So, what's next? Because it seems like the laws we had made years ago to protect women are now going backwards to where it's not only laws destroying women, it's themselves destroying themselves because they don't have respect for themselves. And it seems like there's always another woman or man willing to disrespect themselves for that almighty dollar. What do you guys think? Do you think OnlyFans is like pimping? Or do you think it's different? It's not. And do you think there's a place in society for that? Or maybe our population is just too big. But one thing's for sure, this is in a society that's controlled by law, order, and keeping people safe. Can you imagine if law and order no longer existed and women were starving? Would we go from 1 million to 30 million women prostituting themselves for a plate of potatoes or a can of beans? It's very sad that we're not learning and bettering ourselves as a population. Instead, we continuously make the population worse. Anyhow, guys, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one.